Okay, I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as possible, but this video is way overdue and so many people have so many questions and keep asking me about it, so I figured I'd just make a video explaining everything. So about 2 months ago, I was on the phone with my fiancé at the time, and we were on the phone for quite some time. It literally came out of the blue, but I had to pry it out of him, mind you. Okay, and we were on FaceTime because he was out of town for work. And he wasn't going to be home for like another 10 days or so. Well, it got to the point where he was starting to seem a little like off, and I kept asking him like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? You seem like not focused. You're acting a little weird. And his first response was, no, I'm just tired. It's been a long day at work. So I proceeded to keep talking to him about my day and all the other things we had coming up, and I just noticed he wasn't like listening to me. So I kept asking him like, are you sure you're okay? Like, you just seem off. So then after me doing this for like probably a good 10 minutes, he finally goes, I'm just stressed. I'm like, okay, what about? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, just tell me, like, quit beating around the bush at this point. And he finally just out of the blue says, I just don't want to be with you anymore. I'm unhappy. And I've been unhappy for a while. So naturally, I'm like, what? Because mind you, that morning, he was texting me, good morning, beautiful. I love you. I hope you have a great day. I do have the screenshots for proof because you know I come with receipts. But also he acknowledged our anniversary. Now, we don't celebrate like month anniversaries, but we always acknowledge them. And that was our 4-year and 3-month anniversary, if I'm being exact. So anyway, we're talking, I just got to the point where I'm like, you've clearly made up your mind. Like, you don't even seem sad, remorseful, nothing. Like, what? Like, so of course my mind went to instantly, okay, who is she? He swore up and down there was no one else. He's just been unhappy for a long time. And I'm like, well, again, this is news to me because what? You were just home and everything was fine. So anyway, he just did not seem present. He gave 0, if you know what I'm saying. And I was like hysterical, like, crying my eyes out. So it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? You clearly don't care. There's nothing else I have to say. You've clearly made up your mind. Like, I'm getting off the phone. So we hang up. I didn't hear from him at all. Like, we didn't talk for days. But let me back up, because the day before I noticed he had added Snapchat. And the only reason I found that out is because I was getting ready to go to bed. Normally he says goodnight. I didn't hear from him. So I had texted him after I got off one of my jewelry lives and nothing. So it's like, okay, he just fell asleep. Well, I'm scrolling in bed and doing all the things, checking notifications. And I had a notification on Snapchat that said I had a new friend request. Well, it wasn't a new friend request. It was actually someone in my contacts who had added Snap, and it was him. So after I had texted him like goodnight, I sent him another text and said, by the way, did you create a Snapchat again? And a backstory with that, when we first started dating, we had issues with Snap because he was getting videos from other women doing things inappropriately to themselves. Anyway, it almost caused us to break up, but he decided, you know, it's not worth it. I'll get rid of the whole thing. So he's been without it for 4 years, okay? Well, I'm getting ready for bed. I was scrolling for like a good 30 minutes, and he finally texts me, and he goes, oh, sorry, I've been in and out of sleep. And yes, I did read down Snapchat. I've been without it for 4 years. I thought it was about time. So my response was, okay. Okay, so now fast forward to the day after he ended things with me over the phone because of me prying. So my best friend was texting me like crazy. I didn't get these text messages because I was asleep, but I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom, and I happened to grab my phone and look at it, and I happened to check the messages, and she said, what the heck is going on? Because he had changed his profile picture, hid his relationship status, so I wasn't even like anywhere on there anymore. Which I get, you just ended things with me, but it hasn't even been an hour. So anyway, I texted him the next morning, and I just basically said, like, this is really hurtful. Like, do you not see how hurtful this is? Like, this is so fresh, and like, you're just like, you just seem so eager to be single. So his response was some lame, corny excuse, like, I was speaking from the heart, Lauren. Anyway, stupid. That was it. Anyway, days go by. I had a lot of time to reflect, process all the things in this time, but 4 days had gone by. I decided to go live again because I have a business to run. So I get on live with no intention of speaking on it at all. But someone came in my live that I hadn't seen in a very long time. They were like, oh my God, have you been? What's new? I haven't seen you since you were in Virginia Beach. And my brain instantly went to, well, let's see, my fiance just ended things with me out of the blue. I burned my hand on a crock pot. You know, I was just talking about all the things that had happened to me in the day. And I was fine. Was not emotional at all. But I got emotional because someone had asked me what's going to happen with Lola. Lola was his dog, but AKA my dog, because I raised her for the last 4 years while he was out of town working and never home. So of course I lose it. I start bawling hysterically on live. I had him blocked at this point, but someone was watching, because the next thing I know, I'm getting text message from him threatening me, reminding me like who pays the electric bill and who's on the cell phone plan and this and that and the other. So what does he do? He cuts me off of the internet, so I couldn't run my business for a week and a half, threatening to cancel my phone line. Luckily, my best friend came through and was like, go to AT&T. I got you set up. I already went there. Anyway, got that figured out. So then, of course, more threats. He's telling me get the out of his house, all these things, like just erratic behavior, and telling me I need to watch my mouth and what I say on TikTok, basically trying to silence me. And first of all, you're not going to silence me. I'm going through a really hard time. I'm allowed to talk about it. And I wasn't talking shit about you, but if I want to, I could. So a week goes by, he's still out of town. He finally shows up on like a Saturday morning, and I had told him, you need to let me know when you're going to come home, because I want my stepdad or the cops to be here, because I don't feel safe with you. And he like made a joke out about it, was like laughing and like mocking me. Well, the day he shows up, he comes knocking on my door. Lauren, the cops are here and they want to talk to you. So I go outside and the cops are like, hi, so we're here because he called and told us the situation. And I'm like, what situation is that? And they were like, well, he called us and told us what was going on, and he just wants a peaceful transition with no problems. And I literally laughed and said, that's funny, because the text messages I have from him say otherwise. So anyway, they asked if I needed help or whatever, and I was like, no, I'm fine, but like, what? So they leave. He comes into my room with these, I call them Temu papers, because they had stains and like scratch marks all over them. Basically a template that someone printed off. It's probably his new girl that he's with now. Anyway, trying to say he's serving me to like get me kicked out in 3 days. And I said, well, that's funny. I know my rights. I talked to an attorney. Like, this is complete BS. So I laughed and I threw the papers, and he picked them up and took off with them. I do have screenshots of those as well. So at this point I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to stay in the house any longer. Let me just pack my shit and get out as fast as I can. Well, it was on a weekend. Sundays, the storage unit was closed, so I at least had it reserved. Monday morning, I went to go get a U-Haul, get my stuff in the storage unit, and I was out of there. Well, he ended up blocking me on Facebook. And then the next morning, after I had moved out, he forgot to block my parents and my best friends and like half of my friends. Well, he decided to post his new relationship. The idiot forgot to block my parents. So my stepdad was the one who found out that he was cheating on me with another girl living a whole double life. So of course, naturally, I'm like, okay, this girl, there's no way this girl didn't know about me. Oh, well, she did, because my best friend messaged her and was like, did you know he had a whole ass fiance? Like, how could you be okay with that? And you know what her response was? Word for word, her response was, I don't give a, and neither does he. So she knew about me. What's comical is she put all of her social media private, and then she ended up putting it on public, and one of my followers found her TikTok page, and she had posted some really hysterical video compilation pictures of the two of them, basically saying like, oh, I'm so thankful that God brought you to me. And I'm like, bitch, God does not bring married or taken men to you. The worst part about it all is that he literally stripped me from the home that I took care of. I ran my business out of. He sabotaged my business. I couldn't run my business for almost 2 weeks. Luckily, my parents lived right up the road, so I'm staying with them. Luckily, I had a place to go. But before we moved to Texas, I sold my truck. He traded his car in, or his truck in, for a car that I drove, because he said it would be mine because he had a work truck. Convenient, right? So not only did I not have a place to live, I didn't have a vehicle, and he took the dog that I cared for more than anything in this world away from me. There's a lot more to it, but that's kind of everything in a nutshell. You guys have been asking me every time I'm on live what happened, because a lot of you guys saw him. He was in my lives. He was part of my life for 4 years. So obviously you guys are going to have questions about where he is and what the heck happened. So that's what happened. I'm sorry this was so long, but it is what it is, you know? F him.